Allyson is a published author, composer, actress, singer, executive coach, entrepreneur, and an active soccer mom of two boys, Oliver and Charlie. A few years ago, Allyson, who was a client of mine at the time, called me and said to me, Rebecca, I want to quit my job and pursue my dreams in musical theater and coaching. Allyson was done with her creativity and her big dreams taking a backseat in her life. True to her words, after a 20-plus year career in corporate human resources, last year, Allyson quit her job as head of learning and development and launched her own coaching business. On top of that, she wrote, composed, and published her novel with music, Ballad of Dreams, which I read and absolutely loved. In March of this year, she was interviewed and performed her original song, It's Never Too Late, on national TV on the Tamron Hall Show. She is currently working with a full cast of musical performers to record and produce her music to her novel, while simultaneously running a successful coaching business. And it has just been such an honor for me to observe Allyson fulfilling her dreams. She's just amazing. Please join me in welcoming my friend, Allyson Hernandez, to share her dream talk. What are you waiting for? It's never too late to follow your dreams.
Thank you so much, Rebecca. Can everybody hear me? Okay, awesome. So thank you. I'm so excited about this opportunity and really about the theme of dreaming. So what an amazing kickoff with Helena. Thank you for your inspirational experience. That was definitely an experience and a great way to ground me before speaking. So let's get started. What are you waiting for? Warning, I'll be bursting into song throughout the speech, which is really what I've been doing my whole life. My mom would always say, life isn't a musical, Allyson. And I would say, yes, it is. It is in my head anyway. It's never too late to grab a hold of your dreams. It's never too late to reach for the stars. It's never too late when the sky seems so gray. It's never too late to try. Those are lyrics from a song that I wrote titled It's Never Too Late from my musical turned novel, Ballad of Dreams, as Rebecca said, that I performed on the Tamron Hall show earlier this year. And I am a perfect example of it never being too late to go after what you really want, even if everyone else says you're crazy. Today, I'm going to share how you can try to, at any age and any stage of life, to follow your dreams and be who you're meant to be. So a little bit of my life story. I moved to New York with a BFA in musical theater and a minor in English with one big dream, to be on Broadway. And I got close, so close. After years of pounding the pavement, I got my equity card. I performed at the Apollo Theater, booked a national tour, did a bunch of commercials and cabarets, and then the doors just stopped opening. And so I stopped knocking. I put my dream of Broadway on hold and followed another dream, motherhood. I leaned into my corporate day job in HR, a world that provided the financial stability to start a family. I started in recruiting, which I affectionately refer to as corporate casting. And then I moved into learning and development and realized, oh, I know how to do this. This is just like acting. I get up in front of a room and I entertain people in the spotlight. At least that's what I told myself. After having my first son and moving to the burbs of New Jersey, I started in a new role as an HR business partner and quickly became known as the queen of layoffs, which, as you can imagine, was not exactly the role of my dreams. While there was a lot about HR that I loved, like building relationships with people all over the world and using my empathy to help employees, I came to a point after doing 4 major layoffs, 4 years in a row, that I literally felt like my soul was being sucked out of me. I was so far away from the girl who moved to New York with big dreams. I remember sitting in my boss's office crying, which I did a lot of at work back then, and saying to her, "This is not who I am. This is not what I'm meant to do." And she agreed with me. So I started to ask myself a lot of really hard questions. And the one that kept coming up was, what was I really meant to be doing? Not what I felt like I should do for everyone else, but what was I truly meant to do? I decided it would be more meaningful if I could help other people answer that question for themselves. Instead of telling people that they didn't have a job, I wanted to help them figure out their purpose and get out of the dark side of HR and go back to the light. So I enrolled in a coach training program through IPEC and became certified as a life, career, and executive coach. I moved to a new company where I met Rebecca, employee, and Sue. And we built leadership development programs together. I coached high potential individuals. I mentored women. I traveled the country, and I made the most money I have ever made. And yet I still felt like something was missing. I had all of this success in the corporate world, but it didn't mean anything to me because what I always wanted deep down was creative success. I turned 40 and had the cliche midlife crisis. But in my case, I call it my creative midlife crisis. I was always told growing up that I shouldn't become a starving artist. And yet in that moment, I realized I was a starving artist because my art was literally starving. I wasn't expressing myself or using my creative talents. So how many of you have felt this way? Are any of you starving? Asking yourself, is this who I really am? Is this where I'm really meant to be? Is fear of failure holding me back? I've learned and continue to learn from coaching successful people. I realized I wanted to become an entrepreneur and not only make a difference empowering women and leaders, but also to use all of my creative gifts and be fully expressed as an artist. I have done both of those things in the past year. It wasn't easy, and it probably won't be for you either, but it's worth it. I'd like to share with you 8 practical steps that I took to empower me to grab a hold of my dreams. So this is the cue where you go get a pen. Step 1, pay attention to your energy. Ask yourself, what gives you energy? You need to follow that positive energy. When are you the happiest? What makes your heart sing? When are you in flow? And on the flip side, what sucks your energy? What's draining for you? What situations, people, environments, places, tasks, jobs, roles make you miserable? For me, I realized that way too much of my time at work was spent daydreaming about doing something else, performing again, about being my own boss and writing my musical. I had started writing a musical in the off hours of my day job and soccer mom life. And that's when time just disappeared. Whole train rides would vanish because I was in flow. Step 2, start before you're ready. Take one small step. So I'm taking it step by step. We had to get some Whitney Houston in here, right? Brick by brick. Okay, sorry. I am going to keep singing, but not right now. Even one step forward is one step closer to where you want to be. I started auditioning for Broadway shows again at 41. It had been a decade since I had gone on an audition. And one day, while I was singing in church a song called Trust in Me by Lauren Daigle, I was moved to tears. My pastor asked me after if I was okay, and I said, I think I'm going to start auditioning again, and I am scared out of my mind. He acknowledged that fear and encouraged me to have faith. And I realized that mixed in with all that fear was actually excitement and curiosity to get back out there again. I signed up for an audition time. I prepared. I walked in, I sang, and I didn't die. I didn't get the part, but I did it. and I wanted to do it again. I knew I was rusty, but once I took that first step, I wanted to take more. So what is one small thing you can do today toward your goal? Reach out to someone in your network for advice, do some research, write a first line, sign up for a class. And that brings me to the next step, number 3. Be a student or be a student again. Find a class that you're excited to take that's aligned with your dreams. Invest in yourself. I started taking acting classes again and working with a vocal coach. I started writing my musical. And in addition to reading everything I could get my hands on about writing musicals, I went to a theater conference in New York and tried to find a mentor. I tracked down anyone I could think of who had written a musical before and asked them to have coffee. Which brings us to step number 4. Find a community for support and accountability. This is crucial. There's a good chance that those closest to you, your family, your spouses, your partners, your friends, might just not get it. They might have a lot of trouble supporting you on this journey. Don't hold that against them. Change is hard. And you're probably already fighting your own demons, the one whispering that you're going to let people down or that you're not good enough or that you're a fraud. Don't try to fight other people's demons too. That's just a waste of energy. Instead, find a way to surround yourself with people who are also doing what you want to do. I joined a playwriting group, hired my own coach, found a group of fellow unicorn entrepreneurs, all starting our own businesses. I put myself in the room where it happens by going on auditions, and I found a group of women authors all writing books for the first time. So who are your people? Whatever your dream is, whatever you want to be doing, you need to surround yourself with other people who are also trying to do it. But don't stop there. Also, surround yourself with people who are a few steps ahead of you, people who are already where you want to be. Step number 5, turn past wounds into purpose. I read an incredible book by Laura Garnett called The Genius Habit that helped unlock this for me. Most of us have a core emotional wound from our childhood that stays with us, a voice that we hear echoing through the years. For me, that emotional wound was being told as an 8-year-old girl in the children's choir that I needed to blend, that my voice should blend in a choir and not stand out, that I should not let my authentic voice out because I might drown out others. Discovering that core emotional challenge for me led me to finding my purpose and encouraging others to not blend in. Is there a story from your past that keeps replaying in your brain? Well, guess what? You have a pen. You can rewrite the ending to that story. And that's not just a figure of speech. I want you to actually write the ending that you want. Think about your dream. Picture yourself living the life that you want and write down what it looks like. Step 6, create space for your creativity and your dream. Now, I know there are leaders from all over the world here today, and we are busy people, and our calendars are king. You have to put it on your calendar. If you don't put it on your calendar, you're not going to do it. So 10 to 20 minutes a day, is that not worth it to accomplish your dream? I know you have 10 minutes to work on your dream every day. Now, sometimes inspiration might strike at times that are not on your calendar. And when that happens, use technology. Grab your iPhone, make a voice memo, write something in your phone, write on a Post-it note. Just don't lose that thought and that spark of inspiration. In addition to that, you can be creatively looking at ways to use your time in multiple ways. So pre-COVID, I used all of my travel time to create. Commuting, being on trains, being in the car, being on planes, watching TV, riding my Peloton. How can you use that time for you? I would write lyrics and scenes and chapters just about anywhere and everywhere. I would be singing a new melody in the car ride on the way to work. And sometimes I'd just pull over and capture it on a voice memo so that I didn't lose the melody. Step 7, rethink criticism. Now, this one was probably the hardest step for me, but it's also essential. Use criticism as a launch pad. Use it as inspiration and invite criticism. So a few years ago, I was introduced to a creative director of a huge regional theater here in New Jersey. And he agreed to read my entire script, 130 pages. I was over the moon. I thought, this is it. This is what's going to take my musical to the next level. Well, he read the whole 130 pages and emailed me a 7-paragraph email filled with criticism. And the first thing he said was, I don't think this is a musical. I actually think it's a book or a mini series or a movie. And I was devastated. But a good friend of mine helped me flip that thought and said, wait a minute. He read the whole thing. If he hated it, he would have stopped reading at page 10. And he took the time to email you an incredibly detailed email filled with feedback. So call me a glutton for punishment, but I went back to him and I asked for more feedback. And I said, wait a minute. Well, what kept you reading? Why did you finish it? And what did work? And he came back with even more amazing feedback, but I couldn't get past that roadblock. I thought I was writing a musical and that was my plan. So I was so paralyzed by that feedback that I stopped writing. I took that project, I put it on a shelf, and I ignored it for months. A few months later, 2 other people in the theater and the publishing world read my script, and they said the same thing. They said, this reads like a novel. Have you thought about trying to get this published into a book? And I was just like, okay, all right, universe. That is the 3rd time I have heard the same piece of feedback from 3 different people. That is a pattern, and I need to listen to that pattern. And I am so glad that I did. If I didn't listen to that feedback that was so hard for me to absorb, I never would have pivoted into turning it into a novel. And then realizing that it didn't have to be just one thing. My art didn't need to be just one thing, because none of us are just one thing. So when I leaned into that, all of these creative possibilities just exploded in my mind. And I said, well, wait. Okay, it can be a book with music, with lyrics, and then a soundtrack, and it can be all the things. And that's what it's become. Step number 8 might be the most fun. And thank you for already creating a playlist for this event. Make a playlist to inspire you. As you've noticed by now, music is incredibly important to me, and it's how I express myself. Before I quit my job, I made a playlist called Leap. I played that playlist in my home office and danced around so that I wouldn't lose my courage. Now, I know you want to know what was on the list. There were a lot of Disney princess anthems, don't judge me, and show tunes. And that's what inspired me to remind myself that I could do it, that I could take a leap into the unknown, and no one will know how far I'll go. And reminding myself that I'm not scared to be seen. I make no apologies. This is me. And that I am simply the best, better than all the rest, better than anyone I've ever met. And that nobody is gonna rain on my parade. So, what are your songs? What's your anthem, your rallying cry? Choose whatever gets you pumped up to take that next step, to face your fears, to help believe that it's never too late, as Dolly Parton said, to figure out who you are and then do it on purpose. So if you became a parent and feel like you've lost a part of yourself, or if your journey hits some unexpected roadblocks and you've gotten blown off your course, or if you feel like time has passed you by, stop and rethink that. Take the time to fill your cup. If we don't fill our own cups, then we can't fill anyone else's. Our children, our spouses, our partners, our employees, our bosses, our friends. I want to close with a few lyrics from my book, Ballad of Dreams, called Fill My Cup. There's a woman inside that's still me, and I really like what I see. Big, bold, beautiful pieces of art shape my identity. It's time to fill my cup. No one else can feed the passion that I need. It's time to just take care of me. So what fills your cup? What's one commitment you can make to yourself to fill up your cup? For me, it's music and singing and writing and theater. Without these, I'm just an empty cup. And remember, I hope that my journey will help you on yours. I truly believe that it's never too late to chase a new dream or accomplish one you never thought you would. And you don't have to do it alone. There are many coaches, I'm sure, on this call today, like me, and communities like this one, ready and willing to partner with you on this journey. You don't have to be chosen to follow your dreams. So what are you waiting for?